Coach, this past weekend went on the road to Odessa and Alpine. Got 4 wins. You got your 1,000th career win. Just talk about what you saw from your team this weekend and hitting that milestone.
Well, I thought we did what we needed to do and what we should have done, and we went out and played pretty good. We swung the bats well. Just a lot of things. It's awesome to be able to go out and play everybody on your roster, and get them multiple at-bats, multiple innings pitched, and because you don't get that opportunity in the Lone Star very often to be able to clear the bench and give them 3 or 4 innings of playing time per game, and I love it when that happens. I think we got Blake Holtorf got 3 or 4 at-bats, had 2 hits, and Cameron Leffler had about 5 at-bats, had her first double. Bree Waters got 4 or 5 at-bats, hit her first collegiate home run. Maya Cabrera got a couple at-bats. So all the pitchers got 2 or 3 innings apiece. Of course, Cheyenne got the bulk of it in her 2 games. But those are weekends that you don't get the opportunity very often in the Lone Star to do. And as a coach, that's very rewarding when you're able to go out and play everybody and to watch them succeed, because you're always thinking of the future and the recruiting process and all that. So, those are great weekends for coaches, at least for me, to be able to watch those kids who don't get a lot of playing time all the time to go out and compete in the Lone Star and compete at the NCAA level. Personal, the 1,000 win, it's special. I'm not going to lie, it's a big number. It's something that I'm proud of. I think more than anything is the fact that it comes out to about 40 wins a year. So, it's not, you coached forever and you finally got to 1,000. I mean, I've done it in a fairly reasonable amount of time, even though 25 years is a long time. It's 40 wins a year, and that's not easy to do in the Lone Star. And then the other thing that I'm really proud of, I think we all know the Lone Star Conference is one of the top Division II softball conferences in the country. And all 1,000 of those came in the Lone Star Conference. So that's something that I'm very proud of, because those didn't come easy. You had to work to get those things. We had to work to get 1,000, a 4-2 win, and they had runners out there in scoring position, and Cheyenne got the big strikeout. So, an accomplishment that I'm very proud of, and I'm glad that it happened, but I'm also glad that it's over with, because I know that my team felt the pressure, the girls felt the pressure to win it, and now they can just go worry about playing softball.
In all your years coaching softball, what makes this year's team stand out?
Well, the commitment that they gave to us from the beginning. Last year didn't end the way we wanted it to, and we had a hard conversation with all of them individually at the end of the year before they left for the summer, and they bought in. They came back and they committed to being a team. They committed to supporting each other. They committed to doing whatever the coaching staff asked them to do, and they committed to the changes that we implemented as a coaching staff. And there's been, it's just been a very pleasant year to coach them. But they support each other, and they truly are playing team softball, and that's something that again has made this a rewarding season so far. And if y'all go back to the very beginning, before we were getting ready to head to Conroe, I kind of made those comments about how they bought in, how they worked their tails off, and I hope they reap the rewards. And here we are at 30 and 8, so they are reaping those rewards.
So now this past weekend, how were you guys able to get going so fast on offense and regroup and come back to win 4 straight after dropping for the previous weekend?
You're dealing with 2 teams that are struggling to win, and especially in the pitching circle, and and we did what we should have done. We played good softball. We went out and hit the ball up and down the lineup. The whole weekend. We had some huge performances from certain players. I know Tatiana Trotter, I think, had 3 home runs on the weekend. Leilana had a humongous day in Game 4 yesterday. I think she was, am I right, Nick, 5 for 5? A double away from the cycle, and she hit a rope line drive that the third baseman was able to get a glove on and tip it So it ended up being kicked over the shortstop for a single, but if she wasn't able to get that glove, that would have been a double down the left field line, so she would have had the cycle there. So that's huge. Lauren Dela Cruz, it was her birthday yesterday, and I think she had 4 hits, maybe 3 hits, something like that. I had a big day. So that was fun to watch. Just we went out and did what we should have done and what we were supposed to do against those teams, and got us to that 30-win mark and got us back on track.
Up next, you have Lubbock Christian back-to-back, one on the road and then one at home, a new thing right now. So how does practice mentality change, if at all?
It doesn't. I mean, you just have to prepare for a coaching staff. You only have to prepare for one team instead of 2, which is nice. But a team that offensively can swing it. They've got a lot of Division I transfers in their lineup, a lot of left-handed hitters in their lineup. So that's something that I know Coach Katie Scott will talk to them about in the bullpen all week and prepare them for a lot of left-handed hitters. A team that's not hitting quite the amount of home runs that you would expect out of a Lubbock Christian team at Lubbock, because the ball flies there and it's a short field. But they're hitting over 300. Their pitching staff, it can be really good at times, but then they've struggled at times. So, a little bit up and down. They're a younger pitching staff in particular, pretty young in the circle. Now the Lamb kid's a senior, and she pitched well against us last year, so we'll have to hopefully make some adjustments for her. But a team that's going to, they're going to compete, and they're going to swing it, and we're going to have to go up there and play really well at their place in particular, and then turn around 2 days later and get them home here.
1,000 career wins is one heck of a milestone, but it's been no secret that your care for this team just seems to be at a different level. So what does it mean that it's this specific team with this specific group of girls to help you accomplish number 1,000?
I don't really want to go as far as to say that this team is more special than other teams, because that's not necessarily true. I mean, I've loved all my teams. When they buy in and commit to come play for you, then you need to do the same for them. And that's man, we've had so many great teams over the years, but so many individual players that kind of stick in your brain. And I've just been blessed to coach the type of players that I've coached, and that's why I have 1,000 wins. It's I've always said the coach can't win games by themselves, and the players can't win games by themselves. I mean, they can, but to win at that elite level, it takes both. It takes the chemistry between the players and the coaching staff. It takes the buy-in process to what the coach is trying to accomplish. The coach has to be doing things the right way. I've seen a lot of really, really talented teams that they just didn't have the leadership and the direction with the coaching staff to allow them to get to where they should have. And then you take some elite coaches that if they don't have the kids in place to win, it's just not going to happen at the high level. So it truly is a 1-2 combo, and I've been blessed to have a lot of great players over the years that were great teams. And even the teams that weren't great teams, man, they went out and they competed and they won games, and they've maybe overcome what we didn't have physically, talent-wise or whatever, and they just did things right. They committed to the fundamentals and the bunt game and stealing bases and whatever it was to win games. And that's something. This is for all the alumni. I hope everybody that's played for me is proud of this number, because this isn't just me. This is every one of them. I hadn't thrown a pitch. I hadn't hit a ball. I stand over and give signs and hope it works. And they go out and make it work. And they're the ones that actually put it to effect on the game day. And then sometimes, I have to remind myself over there sometimes, don't overcoach. Just let them go play. Let them go play. We don't need to hit and run right here. We don't need to steal right here. Just let them play. And sometimes it's just talking yourself down as a coach to not overdo it and just let them go out and perform. And this is a special number. It really is. It's a big number. Hopefully there's many more to come. Somebody texted me, well, you ready for your other 1,000, get to 25 years to get to this point. I don't know if there will be another 1,000, but hopefully there will be 1,100 someday, and then maybe 1,200 someday and all that. But, this goes back to my teams in southeastern Oklahoma. There was 150 more wins or something like that at Lone Grove High School. That's not in this number. So this all started with those high school girls back at Lone Grove High School in Oklahoma. So that's a special group of people as well that I was able to cut my teeth and get into the coaching ranks with them and get started before jumping to the college level. But this is, I hope that all the alumni are proud of this accomplishment because of course they were the ones that went out and made it happen.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, you bet.